Welcome to the Learning Lounge, the official podcast of Virtual Prep of West Virginia. I'm your host, Dr. Megan Nason, and this is where families, students, and educators come together to talk real virtual learning. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's learn, connect, and grow right here in the Learning Lounge. I am so excited to welcome everyone back to the next episode of the Learning Lounge. Today, I'm so honored to be joined by Danielle here to talk to us about all things title. What in the world is title? So welcome, Danielle.
Hi, thank you so much.
We are so excited to have you here. I always like to start off a little bit about who you are, how long you have been here at VPrep, and just if you can share a little bit of your journey in education and kind of what led you to the role you're in today.
Perfect. Yes. So I'm currently our Title I coordinator. So I'm currently in charge of all title programming, including our WVTSS intervention programs. I have been an educator this is my 18th year, which is hard to believe. But yes, I started as a sixth grade, third grade teacher, back to sixth grade. I've been in multiple subjects through that course of time, different brick and mortar schools, and have always had some format of intervention, response to intervention, all the things that in our education world gets shifted to as far as it's the same thing, just different titles for things.
Yeah.
So always have given students support on those grade levels in reading and in math. And just love to see that. And it's so important that we get to know the student individually and meet the student where they are and figure out what gaps in the skills that they have and do our best to get those skills taken care of and get them back on track. And so when this opportunity came up for Virtual Prep Academy, it was the first year of this school, but in the spring semester, I interviewed and received the position here with the school as math interventionist. So I have actually been in the trenches, done all the work as a math interventionist.
You've done the work, like on the ground level. I love it.
Yes. And loved that job. Absolutely loved that job. Loved the kiddos that I was working with. Got to see them make great strides and gains. As long as they showed up and came and worked, we were able to make a difference because I feel very skilled in the fact of looking at data. I love our data and just letting that data drive and just pay attention to that and see what those needs are. So I did all of that work. And then the opportunity came up almost a year now ago, which is hard to believe.
Yay.
It's almost been a whole year.
Yeah.
To take this leadership role and be a coordinator and help the team out. And so now we are blessed with 7 interventionists on the Level Up team currently with our school. So
it's very exciting. It's so exciting. And your team grew. I mean, I feel like if we kept a log of the amount of time you and I have spent in data, what Level Up, like the Level Up program is going to look like for our students here. And I think you bring up, like you have been here since the beginning of our school.
Yes.
So I'm going to go rogue already and ask you from beginning to now, like, what have you seen change with Virtual Prep Academy from where it was to where it is today?
It has been such a blessed opportunity. And it kind of gets me at my feels. I came here on faith because it's hard to leave what you've been doing for all these years. You're vested in a system within the state level, and you take this leap. And it was certainly a leap of faith, but I just felt very confident and saw the potential of this school. And it was so exciting from day one, like my interview, in the process of just seeing what the mindset was for a public charter school and what it could do in the state of West Virginia in reaching geographically these students and these families and meeting needs, in a virtual world. I had done some virtual teaching because of COVID, several of us
Yes.
have
Yes.
that on our tool belts, but it's been a game changer, um, from the growth that this school has done in multiple areas, right? So enrollment number wise, the growth, but even more importantly, what has happened internally with our staff, our leadership, our policies, procedures, starting from the ground up. I've been able just to see that transition from year to year. And this year has been phenomenal. Just the change and the gains that have been made. And just thankful for all of us who have taken the time, put in the work, and we're definitely seeing, those gains and being so proactive and being able to see. It's exciting to see what's coming. We're
I
great
know.
now, and it's just like that light at the end of the tunnel. And I just keep seeing those blessings of hard work pays off,
Yeah.
paying attention to the little details and making sure everything is covered and figured out is getting very organized. And I think our families hopefully can see that too. I'm sure they can. We're seeing that in surveys and feedback of things, and it's made the gain exactly where we are. And I feel like, honestly, when I go to state conferences and meet with other state leaders and people around the state that are on my level, we're at the forefront,
I know. I
and that's
know.
exciting.
It's been a really, really positive shift.
Yes,
Sorry, I have a cat entering our podcast. You never know what's going to show up in a virtual world. Um, but I felt it too, just really fostering some positive relationships with the counties in our state, and then the Department of Education, as well as, we
yes,
have this charter side too. And I think something that really surprised me was everyone's willingness to want to learn what is charter. Like, what is charter? What are charter schools? But then on top of it, what's this virtual stuff all about? Because you brought up a really good
exactly.
point. We all have had the COVID experience, but I think a lot of people like that was, oh, that must be what virtual school is like. And it isn't. So like
It isn't.
it's so much different than what happened during COVID, where one day you're in a classroom and the next day you're on a computer trying to figure out what to
Survival
do.
mode,
Like,
right?
yeah, survival mode. It's such a different thing when the entire school is ran from a virtual model, as opposed to we're really a brick and mortar school that had computers thrown in front of us and we just have to figure this out. So I love that you brought that up. And I think, we hear this thing all the time, title school. What is a title school? And I think we don't do a good enough job at explaining what some of these really academic, federal based words mean. And so you've talked a lot about level up and intervention. And I'd love to know what drew you to that work, and why is equity and access such an important part of education to you? Because that's really what we're talking about. We're talking, when you hear this word title, it's all about equity and access for all students, meeting students where they are, which is what you said, and supporting them through specifically designed programs like MTSS, multi-tiered system of supports, which is our intervention teachers. So if you could talk a little bit about your draw to that, and just the importance and the why behind why we are a title school, why we want to be a title school, and do the work that we're required to do as a title school.
Yeah, so I feel like my role here kind of sits like at the intersection of all of these opportunities, right? Um, the compliance, we follow every state mandate. We are in compliance with West Virginia Department of Ed. So there's that compliance piece, along with being a school-wide title program. It means we have the needs that are being shown that we get these federal
Mhm.
dollars. So there's
Mhm.
the compliance, the budget, the means for the resources that come along with it. But even more so than that, it's also like, here's instruction and that intersection of where my team can lead and design that, family partnerships, how we can get family engagement, and it's we've already been heading in that direction, and now coming from the national down to the state level, it's like, hey, by the way, parents should be a partner to your school. And from our brick and mortar days, right, from my experience, it's like you had to, it went from every aspect. It was like you had, anyone's allowed to come in, and if you're a parent helper in the office, you're going to make copies or you're going to pop popcorn and that kind of a thing. And then it got tighter restrictions, and it's like you have to be approved, and then no, we can't allow anyone in our schools. And so I think the education system in a whole entirety has ran through all of those years of different processes. And it's like, parents need to know, guess what? You're still our partner. You still have a voice. First of all, you get to choose for your own child in our state of West Virginia, what is best for your child. So we have that,
Right.
which is phenomenal. And once you choose us, here's the avenue we're going to take. And I
Right.
get to help design that engagement as a part of several other departments in our school, but making that a partnership, allowing our parents knowing that they have a voice in their students' education and in our school. And then it's all about equity. And so equity in the academics, equity in the services. A part of title is Title III, and that's our English language learners. So
Mhm.
we have students who cannot speak English, and they're a part of a program right now that we are funding that is helping them work through those deficits
Yeah.
and skill gaps and improving on that. And that's a great resource
It's
that
so
we've been
exciting.
given
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
being a school-wide title. And then McKinney-Vento and students who have perfect needs in homelessness or resources and all of that guidance. We have funds, we have resources, we have connections that we make to provide those needs. And so it's equity in so many different capacities that it's truly looking at each individual student, figuring out that student, their family, whoever's involved, and finding how can you be most successful and what can we do to make that happen. And we're going to, and we're going to see it through, and we're going to keep checking on you after we give this to you or provide this service. We're going to keep checking back with you because we have the continued process to be able to do so. So it's removing all the barriers
Yeah. Yeah.
of
I
where
mean,
students
perfectly put.
can't be successful.
Yeah. You bring up such a good point, and the uniqueness of, yes, we are a public charter school. And as we mentioned, we work with the Department of Ed, and we also work with our charter side of things. You bring up that parent choice, and knowing that when you come to a school, parents are also choosing to be or identify who will be their student's learning coach because of the flexibility that comes with our setting. So I love that you talk about that partnership, because it is the most successful situations and stories we have with student success is when we have that partnership, that strong partnership between school and home, because home is where our student's classroom is, right? Like,
Yeah.
we have that unique situation, and they're not on a campus, so they have to log in. They have to make the effort to log in. If they are a part of our level up program, like, they have to make the effort to log into those sessions and those classes. And when we have that strong partnership with our families, where that is being supported at home as well as here on our front, the sky is the limit. I know you and I could talk data forever, but we just completed our iReady winter benchmark assessments, and it's unbelievable. I have never, in almost 20 years of doing this, I have never seen the growth that our students have made from fall to winter. So plug and shout out to all the families and kiddos out there, because Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And I think to your point, bringing it kind of back to the uniqueness and the individualized support that we can provide students through general education teachers in classrooms, but as well through our level up and intervention team, our special education team. We have access in a virtual world that does play a benefit. It's those pros and cons between kind of brick and mortar and virtual, but there is an individualized component of a virtual world that we are able to provide. And it's been unbelievable in such a short amount of time, the growth that our students and the caliber of education that our students are receiving from their general education classes. But then in addition to your point where we're like, we see you, we got you, we're going to get you in, we're going to grab you, and we're going to support you, and then we're going to get you back out as fast as we can. So you have answered like a bunch of questions just in this short time, so thank you. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I'd love to dig into title. So many families hear Title I, but aren't exactly sure what it means. So how would you explain Title I in simple terms?
Okay, I like that.
Okay.
So, title is something that, federal. It's
Yes.
just a word, basically federal funding for what are the students' needs. And even in the aspect, like you mentioned even before, part of title funding also includes the best environment and the resources on a teacher side of it too. So we here as a school-wide title program have highly qualified teachers. And
Mhm.
so if there's a way that we need to do something different or help a teacher out, that also pays for professional development and all of that as well. So all of those are maintained under those title funds. So any title funding is basically saying the federal government saying, here's your budget according to what your needs are, your enrollment of students are. It's very strict.
Yes.
There are
Yes.
strict guidelines. The budget has to be to the penny. It cannot be a penny off, over, or under of your spending yearly. Um, you have to have a plan. You have to structure it all and decide all of these things that are going to fit the need of what you've already priorly assessed that your school needs. And then it's following through with all of that. And then it gets monitored by the state. And so we're getting ready here in a couple months. So first or middle of March, you and I will be seeing each other again, and we'll be in
You
state
will.
monitoring,
Yes.
making sure that we have followed all the guidelines, used appropriate funds accordingly, and provided the needs of our students accordingly. So it's a good check and balance, if you will, of are you doing what
It's
you should be doing to meet the needs
yeah,
of your students?
right.
Which
Good
is
accountability. Yeah.
yes, yes. Um, it it has a little bit of flexibility, I guess I would say, as far as from school to school or district to district who receives these funds to be able to internally assess and make the plan accordingly, which is really nice. And so that's what we've done here every year, doing so. And we just keep honing in even more. And just you mentioned data. We can't talk about any of this without data. Um, Data drives it, and rightfully so, because data also scores it, right? We get our scores of how successful we are as a school, and are we truly seeing gains that the students are to we're supposed to be seeing. So all of that definitely plays in to all of it. Schools and districts who don't have title, they could be doing very similar things.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Absolutely.
but don't have the resources and means to do it to
Right.
this level.
Right. Right. And sometimes schools choose because to your point, there is a lot of accountability that
Restricted. Yes.
comes with receiving these funds. So as a
Yes.
school, all schools have a choice, right, in receiving those. I know a previous school I came from, we received them one year, and then sometimes, depending upon the funds, it can sometimes not be worth the work and monitoring that goes into it.
Yes.
You might have a very healthy budget to be able to do those things anyways without that monitoring and accountability. And so I think that's an important distinguish to make, that it doesn't mean it's not a positive or negative over whether a school is a Title I school or not a Title I school. We choose to be and enjoy being, but with it comes a lot of monitoring and oversight, as it should, and how we're spending these funds. So again, I'm just going completely off script, but love for you to share some ways that we have. Like, what are some things we have already done this school year that fell under title that families might not even be aware about, was something that came from our title program? So could you talk a little bit just about, so far this year, some of the things that families might have seen if they're a current family with us that we have done as part of our title plan?
It makes me think of like just the pathway of a very, very new student who comes to us. So if you think, okay, you're going to enroll your student with our school, the very beginning starts with your first contact with our student services, who hold your orientation, who greets you, who goes into those first live components, who's looking at all of your past paperwork and reviewing all of that, transcripts, where your needs are. That's our student services team, our success coaches, all of them, and that entirety, they're federally funded. They're a part of our Title I initiative as teachers, as coaches. The components that they also layer in is following through with making sure your student is successful and maintains success on an engagement, behavioral, social, all of that. So all of the components of what a student and human being, if you will, needs: social, emotional, behavioral, academic, all of that is every detail, all the design that we're looking at to make sure we are seeing gains and growth and success there. Then, depending on what time of year you join our school, if you're coming at a beginning of a new school, this year we're able to have a welcome to V Prep, welcome back, a day in the parks. So our funds funded some rental of some shelters. We were geographically located in about 6 to 8 areas all over the state of West Virginia, so it wasn't a long travel. We had such a good turnout for that. It was so exciting.
It was so fun. So
and it was
fun.
so great that everyone had a part in it. Everyone worked to get prepared. Everyone was present at one location or the other. All leaders, all team members, staff members, our ops team, everyone was present in an in-person day, getting to truly face-to-face meet students, meet their families, engage with them. And then the little bonus was, we also through Title purchased some flair, if you will. We had some V-Prep backpacks, right? And in that, Title funded math manipulatives, because the prior year, as we started doing some reading and math support and special programming, we started seeing, okay, this is wonderful. You're on a device, you're electronic, you're digital, you can do all the digital resources. But wouldn't it be great? Because I actually noticed it when I was doing my math intervention. I'm like, okay, kids, what's near you? Can you grab 3 of one thing and 2 of another? Like 3 red crayons. And they're like, I don't have them. So you're trying to get them to grasp stuff, to physically do what, they should be doing in a math world or a reading world, actually picking up a book and reading it, or something separate from this learning device. And so we were able to do that. Along with that stemmed over last spring, we also were able to purchase Kindles. And so we are using that as a different device that students can have that in their hands, scroll through, load up. We had a library program where we taught everyone how to get a library card at their local library. First of all, geographically finding, if you didn't know where your local library was, what resources are available there. And then that opened up a whole digital world, because in the state of West Virginia, the library system connects digitally. And
Right.
so if you go in and get a card at one county or public library, you have access, if you have a digital device, to get to all of those digital resources. And so that was the match that was so beautifully layered in, that we can afford to purchase those Kindles and get those out to our students. So that was also an added component at our day at the parks. So we were gifting all these fun things and getting to have just a lovely day. And the weather cooperated, which was nice for all of us. And it was a fun day. And so as we move throughout the school year, my team, so the Level Up team, all of the math and reading interventionists are funded through our title. The resources that we use, the curriculums that we have designed, figured out that best suits our needs of our students, are character strong.
I was just looking at a question about how the title supports the whole child, and instantly I'm like, character strong, like advisory. Could you talk a little bit?
You located, you had past experience with that program.
I did.
And I actually just heard about it this morning. I was in with someone else and they were like, no, actually it was yesterday. I was in with another teacher and they were like, if it wasn't for character strong and advisory, my kids would not be talking right now. And it's a high school teacher saying how their students are talking and engaging with each other because of that program and what it does to get them wanting to share and having that safe space.
I'm so glad you shared that. And my heart is so near and dear to support our students' social emotional learning, especially in the digital world that we are today. And I'm glad you brought up Wednesdays, because I think it's important for prospective families who may not know, like, what does a day in the life look like for a student here? Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, very traditional, normal instructional days. We complete all of our core classes. So math, English, science, and social studies before lunch every day. Electives or level up intervention are things that take place in the afternoon. But Wednesdays are a unique day. Wednesdays are advisory day, and character strong is an incredible. I mean, I just can't say enough. Previously, I spent about a year demoing, piloting social emotional curriculum. And I'm going to totally go on my little soapbox here that no one asked for. But what people might not know is good luck finding a true kindergarten to 12th grade social emotional curriculum. What it looks like is there's really great elementary curriculums. And then, poor middle school, I feel like it's either you got to go elementary or you have to go high school. And that's just not great. And then you have high school social emotional curriculums. And it was really important to me. One, I wanted to find something that was truly K-12 that could have genuine implementation with fidelity. But I also wanted to find something that aligned with MTSS tiered intervention. Because what do we know? All kids need character, support, social emotional support. What I love about Character Strong is it is perfectly adapted for elementary, middle school, and high school. It is so engaging, and it helps us identify our students who may need some tiers to support and have character strong with our school counselors, which is coming next year. And I am so excited about it. So advisory was the one thing our teachers, it's like, it was our lowest attendance day for students. And our teachers were like, we don't really know what to do. We brought on Character Strong. And I just love hearing stories like that, because I think if you asked any of our teachers, one of their most favorite things that got brought on this year, I think most of them would say Character Strong. And what did we hear? Exactly what you said. I'm having kids, like, I've never had so much communication amongst our students. We all know, even if you're on camera, you still have to push the unmute button and you don't have to. And it has been a game changer. I even think just for our school culture, like, and
Yes.
such a simple thing. And title. We were just in a meeting yesterday talking about, oh, I've got the quote coming for a renewal for Character Strong for next year. And how lucky are we to have this program and the funding to be able to bring those pieces to our school, because it isn't just all about math growth and English growth and reading and all of that. It's about the whole child. And I think we are really moving our title program to just that, in recognizing, hey, we have this piece of our children that we maybe weren't supporting in the best way. What's out there for us to be able to support them better? And title has allowed us to do that. So,
And that was one of my goals. And one of the things that really stuck out when I came into this role, a lot of cleanup and, all of the logistics that
right.
you and I are very much aware of, and have spent a lot of time just developing all the things that we needed to be in compliance. But the overall arching thing that kept coming up as we're, developing student services, developing title, MTSS, academics, all of this stuff is, where's the emotional? Where do our students know,
The
except
human,
for that you matter, right?
right.
We're like building those intentional connections, and
Yes.
and the sense of school spirit and pride. And so I
Mhm.
think all of us coming together and saying, like, we need true relationships and connections. I want our students walking in somewhere and be like, yeah, I'm a V prep, WV kiddo. Like, and graduation. I mean,
I know.
I bawled at graduation and prom because we had that opportunity to have that this past spring. And I didn't have that before. Like, being
Yep.
here, this is the fourth year for this school. That was our very first prom and
Yep.
graduation. And you could start seeing and feeling that connection, or the need for it, right?
Mhm.
It was like that awkwardness, like, I don't really know anyone. I've never talked to them in advisory. I don't talk to them in class. I just show up, I do my work, and I leave. And so it's seeing that there was some of it happening, but the need for it to continue to happen. And then that's where we started building our title, right? And where we're going to use these funds, and saying, here's an intentional program. Here's intention of how we're going to use these funds to make this happen. And for
Right.
everyone to be able to have a sense of what that means to be here at our school.
I love that you share that. You made me think of prom. So we also had our first, right? First off, everyone was stunning, staff included. I feel like if we could poll our students who were at prom, like, who had more fun, the kids or staff, right? It was such a blast. I know.
It'd be hard. Yes.
We watched students before our eyes walk in so anxious and nervous, and like literally make friends at prom right before
Like
us.
that.
Like, it gives me goosebumps talking about it, because what an amazing thing. I was in a meeting today actually with the state talking about some things, and they're like, oh, you mean so this is just like what we do in brick and mortar? I'm like, yeah, well, you just click a link to come into it. And I think that's a big misconception. Like, there's so many things we have that are just like a traditional school. It just looks a little different. We have student council. Like, we have a high school student council who is planning their own prom this year and advocating for what high school wants. And it's like, this is the coolest thing. It's so cool. It's so awesome. And we just keep growing in the ideas. And I know we have to slow ourselves down. We're like, okay, yes, like we got to time this out. But I am so excited for next year. And to your point, like, a lot of this year was focused on cleaning some things up and getting things functioning in a seamless way for us as well as our families, and trying to really hear voices of our staff, our families, of what's working well, what isn't, what can we focus our energy on this year without making too significant of change. But what's prompted that is like a whole level of excitement, plans, and ideas going into next year. And so, with that, we're going into a unique season. Everyone knows with me, I'm like, oh, 2nd January comes, it's like next year planning. But specific to title, I'd love to talk a little bit about how families are involved or can get involved in our title program and why their voice is so important.
Absolutely. Um, like we said before, there are partners. You as a parent, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, families, right? We're not just saying biological mom or dad, like
Yeah.
whoever is supporting that student, because we have all opportunities there. You are our partners. We're in this together. We want you to feel that. We want to hear that feedback. And so we've been putting out, every time we have something, we do put out a survey. We have our socials where we can put some things out, and it's just looking and seeing and knowing, like, we do really want you to respond, right? We want to
Yes.
hear, and it's helpful, and we do something about it. We as a
Yes.
leadership team take that information and we check out, and we're like, okay, here's something we need to listen to. We need to follow up with this. And we do that. So yes, partnership for sure. And one of the things that we just now got on track that we've been needing to do is our parent advisory committee.
Yes.
We are going to be meeting here soon. We put out a survey asking for those who wanted to participate. We got a little bit of feedback, and it was over winter break. So we were like, okay, maybe people weren't paying attention so much. So we put it out again, got some more feedback. And so we've got a really good group now that has responded, ready to meet, be a part of the planning, the insight, the inner workings of things. And if you didn't get an opportunity to say yes to that, like, there's still chance, like, that still matters. You
Yes.
can still jump on board. Like, parent advisory committee, we should probably change that to family, right? It shouldn't just, it should be whoever is a part of the student learning and all that. And it's about advocating. Um, I've always appreciated, in every environment that I've been in an education world, someone who would advocate for the child.
Yes.
And that can be so many people. And when you bring extra people, it's like, I've told one of our grandchildren, you have all these grandparents because it's like step, step, step. No, we get rid of the word step, but look at all the people that you have that love you. And so same concept with our students. Look at all the people in your world who are ready to advocate for you and step up and be a part of it. And we're welcoming that, which is very exciting. So we will have some title events coming soon, and that's always when we go live in those family circle course cards. We host live events for math support specifically in March, and reading. We welcome families to join, and it's so fun because they'll come on camera, and I've even received messages, from some of our families who have multiple children with us, and they're like, hey, we're all here, but we're on this one device, so it's going to look like only such and such is in here, but then on camera you see this. They get emotional. You see this family sitting down together in front of a screen, participating in our live event. And I'm just like, oh, it just warms my heart. Just, here you are coming together, advocating for your children, for their needs. And so in all of those aspects and ways, there's always a way to reach out to myself, come through the website, reach out to Dr. Nason,
Absolutely.
principals, and say, hey, here's what I would love to do. I want to advocate more. I want to communicate more. I want to be a part of it. Where do you need? Where can I do this? And we would always definitely find a place for you to fit in for sure.
Yes. And we also have our monthly pass up. So
Yes.
for families, if you haven't, that comes out almost pretty much on a monthly basis. I think December is the only month it doesn't come out. And it is literally that, a place to give feedback. So even if you're like, I don't know where to put my ideas or
Hmm.
feedback or thoughts, there's no feedback I myself haven't even read from a survey we
Right.
send out. Like, we go through every single piece of feedback line by line. So I love that you brought that up, because I know there's nothing more that, you know, people hate than having something come out. You're like, what's the point? Is it anyone even going to read it? Yes. We
Yes, we do.
literally read every single line. If you have previously filled out our POSIP survey, I personally will email you and thank you for taking the time to fill it out, because you took time out of your day to give us feedback. I read every single POSIP survey, every school survey, and then I send it on, right? And we will follow up with you. Good or bad, we are following up with you on your feedback, because we can assume that we know what families want. But it's really great when you just tell us, and then we can use your vision amongst our vision to grow our school into something truly phenomenal. And that's our goal. That's what we want to do. And title is one of many ways that we're able to do that. I'm going to wrap us up here. Are you
Okay.
ready? Okay.
Yes.
I want to know what you're most proud of in almost 1 year of taking over, revitalizing, revamping our title program. At the end of this year, looking back, what is Danielle most proud of?
There's so many things.
I know. You can only pick one. I said the same thing to
Okay.
Sabrina. You can only pick one. What is the one thing you're most proud of?
Mm. I'm proud of the growth, and the growth has been hard,
Yeah.
but it has always remained positive. And when I say that, it's not me, it's in my heart. This is why I'm doing this. I wouldn't be doing it otherwise. I mean, my heart is completely fulfilled. God put me exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I know that for certain. And where I'm speaking of is what we have been through as a leadership team together under your guidance and direction in the positive manner. The hard wasn't as heavy because it
Yeah.
was positive, and we can see there's truth in the data, there's truth in the obvious results, and it's longevity. It is going to
Yeah.
continue and last. So it's growth that's not painful, because you can see and maintain the potential of it. And then from there, it's my team, and it's Sabrina's team, and it's, special, it's all these teams, the, all of the classroom teachers, all of our staffing individually. You can just watch this projection and this shift. It's been hard. It's still hard right now sometimes, but it's not
Yeah.
impossible and feeling heavy, because it's positive and we see the good and the value in it. And that makes me really proud when I can sit back and truly say, I'm one of the OGs, right? It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I was here year one. I hung on tight. I've grabbed a hold. I've had those moments. It's been quite a ride, but wow, it has been totally worth it. And I'm very proud of our school and those of us who have done everything that we can possibly do for our students and our family and what is right in our world for the whole child. It's just, yeah.
I love it. And I think, to your point too, we're also just getting started. And that's
Right?
exciting,
That's what
right?
I'm saying,
Like,
like longevity.
I know.
There's you can just see, like, I know where we're going. So
And
you
sky's the
guys, like,
limit. Like,
get
what a
on board.
beautiful place. Yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Now's the time. Join
Yes.
on. And
Yeah.
who knows where we'll have this conversation a year from now and
And
be able.
I'm sorry, that
No.
reminds me of something. It just came into my head. So this triggers a memory from my interview to come to this school. And I'm pretty sure I was asked, like, why make the shift? Like, you're vested. Why would you do the shift? And I was like, I just feel like in our education system, this is a train that is taken off. And if I don't jump on board, I'm getting left behind. And it just kind of came full circle just now. It came into my brain. I'm like, yeah, like, here we go. I'm on board.
Yep.
Our train is taken off. And like you said, sky's the limit. I truly, deep within my heart and my brain, which has a lot of data, I know, I
We're a
know
little
it's
tired
happening.
right now too. Like the data is it has been a week of data dives. So
Of data. Yes.
I appreciate you even being able to have this conversation at the end of a week because it is Friday. So final question, kind of
Okay.
on that same thing. If there was anything that you could tell a family, a prospective family, someone who's maybe on the fence about making this decision, what is the one thing that you would want them to know about joining our V Prep family?
You're going to belong. I mean, there's a sense of belonging here. There really is. And I think that's a little bit of a misconception sometimes that definitely needs to be a debate and a thought process for sure. Because this isn't right. This isn't the right fit for every student, for every family.
Absolutely.
It really isn't. And we are the
Absolutely.
first to admit that. And that's the right thing to do, right? And that's why it's so beautiful that in our state, you do have a choice. Um, Once you get past that internal decision of this is something we want to try because we think it would match the needs, I really know it in my heart that there's a sense of belonging here as long as you show up and attend. You can't, I
Yeah.
know we're kind of coming back to that a little bit, but it's like when I make some phone calls or I hear about success coaches and student services reaching out, and it's like, why is your child not engaged? Why is your student not getting, the proper attendance and maybe falling behind a little bit? A lot of it comes back to they haven't put in the commitment of showing up because
Mhm.
that's all it takes. You show up for us, we're
We
going
got
to
you.
build the relationship, we're
Yeah.
going to connect with you, and you're going to feel very important because you matter and you belong. You're one of ours, and I had a great opportunity of meeting even in person with some of our, you know, English language learner services
Yeah.
and screening and stuff. And I just get so excited. I'm like, you're going to be a graduate of ours, and it's like,
Wow.
that's what I'm saying by come and be a part of this and belong. You're one of us and we're going to see you through. We're going to do
Yes.
everything on our part as long as you're meeting us and doing your responsibility and your part. You're going to graduate and we're going to celebrate you. And what a glorious day when you can say, I have done this. I
Mhm.
have a diploma now. I have maintained, I have my education, and this is where I got it. And that's nothing different from anywhere else necessarily. I'm sure a lot of people can say that, but I feel like we have the resources and the opportunity. Geography doesn't divide us.
No, you're right. I mean, it's a whole state. We have,
Yes.
and I think to your point too, I think the uniqueness is we have an entire team who believes in the same mission.
Yes.
We
We're on the
have an
same page.
entire team who we value exactly what you're talking about. And I think that's the uniqueness is
Yes.
I firmly believe that if you asked any one of our staff, why are we here and why do we do what we do every day? They would give a version that aligns with who we are, what we stand for, supporting kids, making them feel safe, wanted, cared for, seen. And
Seen. You know, when you say that word, I hold on to that so emotionally because I think that's a little bit where the barriers start in
yeah,
other environments is someone doesn't feel seen.
yeah,
They just kind of get shuffled in, and we hear that from our students. It's like, oh, wow, I had a problem here because of this, but here, this is it. And it's truly feeling seen has such an emotional connection for me that has so much value for our families that right there is a huge unique value. Come
I
to us
love
and
it.
you will be seen.
You will be seen. It's a new slogan that we can have for
Yes,
sure. So,
I love
Danielle,
it.
I cannot thank you enough for taking your Friday to talk with me about all of these things. I know we are planning in the future a conversation specific to level up and what that looks like. So, just thank you. Thank you for all the work you do. Thank you for the work that your team does. And I appreciate you. We would not be doing the things that we're doing if we did not have one person or department on this team. So thank you to yours. I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Thank
And
you.
it was a great conversation. So thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I appreciate you too. It's really been a joy and a pleasure. So I want you to know that as well. We're
Thank
under
you.
great direction and guidance here.
Well, it's a good team. You are only as good as the team, that we have around
Yes.
us. And we're fortunate for our team. So thank you. And here we go. Podcast number 2.
Build a brighter future with VPrep by our side. VPrep West Virginia forever will stand as one. Teachers of the future, our work's never done. Through every screen, our love will shine. VPrep West Virginia, our hearts align.